welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Love Podcast.
Nice.
Woo, today I'm actually kind of nervous about this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it could get a little controversial. It could get a little heated.
Some
of the stuff we haven't discussed.
Oh, yeah.
Even off camera, so I'm actually a little curious how this conversation will go.
So today we're going to be talking by something that was inspired by one of our Patreon questions. If you do not know, we are taking questions on our Patreon, patreon.com/Jaclyn and David, and all you guys are asking us some beautiful and some intense relationship questions.
Intense to say the least. Like, I feel super unqualified
for
a lot of these questions. This one, however, I think we're qualified to answer.
Well, decent. I mean, we're decently. So yeah, overall, all the questions are all over the place. Mm-hmm. So take our advice as if I like the way you word it, as if we're your friends, which is true. We are. We're your friends, and we care a lot about you, and we just want to make sure that if you're asking us a question, we're giving you advice based on our backstory. However, some of the questions are like pretty. We could they maybe speak with a real professional. I don't really know.
Did you get that from my live stream? Watching my live stream? Because I always try to tell people, like, I feel super unqualified, but pretend like I'm just a friend of yours and you're sitting on my couch and you ask me a question and I give you my very unprofessional yet loving advice.
Yeah, that's really how you have to take it. So today we're going to be talking about religion.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, that's a big one. I think that's probably one of the biggest. I would assume one of the biggest issues often people have. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I mean, I do think it's a really common thing. And I know this because I do videos a lot on the topic of religion and not being religious. And I get asked all the time, how do you date? How do you date? Would you be okay with dating someone who was religious if you are not? So I think we're going to cover that and more.
Oh my gosh.
In this episode. It's a lot. It's a lot to consider. It's a lot to, decide where your priorities are and what you're willing to compromise on, and if you can even compromise.
So I think some of the magic of this episode is going to be based on the fact that you are going to be watching or listening to a real serious couple talking about relationship stuff.
How serious? We're not even Facebook official yet, so
I know. I need to ask you someday soon here. But a real couple talking about religions. I think we're going to be just fine. I think
we'll see.
Oh God, am I sleeping on the couch tonight?
Will we still be dating by the end of this podcast? Let us know your thoughts.
I think we'll be just fine.
I'm kidding.
All right, so should I read the question?
I would love that. Yeah.
So today's question is from our Patreon, and today's question is from Liz Sklar, and the subject is blame it on the wine. Cute. Blame it on the wine I had tonight, but here's another one for you / everyone in the community. How do you all feel about dating / marrying someone of a different religion? Seems like you two have very different perspectives / upbringings when it comes to religion. Oh, yeah.
I'm pouring wine right now, Liz.
Nice.
So now I can blame it on the wine, whatever my answer is.
In my family, my brother married a Jewish girl, and my sister's husband converted. Oh, are you going to convert? We'll get there. Judaism, to me, has been more of a tradition / culture / moral compass than a religion. Ah, she's from the tribe. I'm expected and would honestly like to find somewhat similar. Am I narrowing my focus too much? How do you reconcile religious issues within a relationship? Hope this makes sense. Loved the first episode. Nice.
I love that question.
Me too. There's a lot
of questions in that question.
Yeah.
So here's some wine. I'm going to pass it to you over all of our equipment.
It's probably waterproof.
Here you go. Cheers.
L'chaim.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not topical?
Cheers.
Well, do you know what l'chaim translates to?
It means to life.
Oh my God.
He only tells me this every time we cheers, and he says that.
Yeah. To life.
I thought this was America.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. Okay.
Where do you want to start? Well, okay.
Gosh, there's so much in that question.
How about your backstory?
Well, I was born in a small town in Florida. No, really though. It was a conservative area where I was born, where I was raised, very religious, Roman Catholic upbringing, went to Catholic school from kindergarten through my senior year in high school, and then was super evangelical and preachy in college. I'm embarrassed by that, but I was.
Did you convert some people?
No, I think I just royally pissed everyone off.
Oh.
Yeah. So
their loss could have been saved by you.
Could have been saved, but now they're all going to hell, and I'll see them there. So yeah, I had to go through some things to slowly lose that, and everybody always wants to know what the one big major thing is that happened to me, but there isn't one. It's just kind of a slow realization of, in my opinion, reality, and that happened probably through school. I got science education, so between that and just life experiences, and then my politics changed, and the political podcasts and YouTube videos that I would listen to, they would often say things that were not religious or very secular, and I would be mad at that, but then I'd be like, yeah, but they're not wrong. So I had to reconcile all of that, and that actually happened to me, that whole process, while I was in a relationship with someone who was very religious. And when we started dating, I was religious too, so we had that in common. So here's an interesting scenario of someone moving away from that while still being with someone who didn't, and that caused a lot of problems.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was not a fun experience to have. So I do know what it's like to be an atheist dating someone who is very religious, not only just Christian, because some people can be laid back about it. But in this situation, that was not the case. It was like super, super religious. Like, we need to go to church. And if you don't say your prayers, you're going to hell. And if you're not religious, I think you're going to hell. And imagine getting that in a relationship said to you. Yeah.
So at least you've done your learning, your time. You know your facts. Facts. You know your stuff.
I'm well versed on this topic.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so mine, I was born a nice little 6-pound, 6-ounce Jewish boy.
Don't even know a word.
Don't even know a word yet. And 6 days later, had my little party with the bris, and then my whole life, I started Hebrew school in 3rd grade. Even you can go back. I remember I went to like a Jewish-ish preschool, and you would do Rosh Hashanah, and you would do like the apples and honey, which by the way represents having a sweet New Year. So you would do the apples.
I would love to do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, no, it's cute. Do that, and then I 3rd grade I started going to Hebrew school every single Sunday. I think we went to Hebrew school on Sundays, and started to learn the little letters, the little Hebrew letters, how to sound out the letters, the words. And that sort of led up to Sunday school every week until my bar mitzvah, which was when I was 12. And
you became a man?
I became a man.
Oh.
To a bar mitzvah year, honestly, this was like my peak. I have never played so much spin the bottle in my life. If you were to make a large graph, and there would just be a peak at like 12 to like 13 and a half of just like,
I am fixing to change that.
7 minutes in heaven.
We should do that sometime.
7 minutes in heaven?
Babe, how come you've never done 7 minutes?
That's so much time for us. Never mind.
That is so not true. Just the once.
Okay, sorry. That's too much. That's too much. Too much information.
Look at your face turning all red.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, bar mitzvah year was wild. I had a bar mitzvah, and I have not very many, I have some memories from it, but one memory I particularly remember is like at my bar mitzvah party, which after your event, which by the way, you study for like 8 months for this thing that it's celebrating all of your knowledge that you learn, and then you read out of the Torah, and your family flies in from all over, and then you have your bar mitzvah, become a man. But I have this one memory from the party. My mom hired a DJ with, she probably paid a little extra to get dancers, which by the way, dancers are like 16-year-old girls that like come and dance.
That doesn't seem weird.
No, it's not. But anyways, she got dancers, which are they're like the hot older girls. And
okay,
just look. Okay, we were all like,
it's hard for me to imagine.
We're like horny 12-year-old boys. Anyways,
gross.
But I know in my DVD, there's a DVD at my parents' house. We'll go watch it. In the DVD, it like pans, it like watches me and like, I think like 2 girls like freak dancing at once, and then it like pans over to like my grandma, like with her face palming, being like, oh my God, what? And then it like pans back, and we're just like with our braces freaking. Anyway, that was bar mitzvah. And
can we please watch this video?
We can absolutely watch this video. We can add it into the vlog, and we can put little highlights.
I'm so stoked.
We can find that could be good. So anyways, there was that, and then I was good. I was already playing guitar at this point. I was already writing songs, I was good at learning the songs. And so a week later, I became a bar mitzvah instructor. So I now was working for free for the first year. And then I continued that job from, that year all the way through. Even in college, I would Skype in. And I was a good enough teacher that I would teach the bad kids. They would give me the bad kids at that point. Otherwise, it ran on its own. And I took the whole bar mitzvah school, and I took us from cassette tapes to CDs.
Wow.
And I got the cantor, the singing rabbi, set up with a recording studio. And then I took it from CDs all the way to MP3s. And I have taught hundreds of kids. Good kids, bad kids, punk kids, kids that were like, I do drugs. Kids that were like,
is that how they sounded?
They were like, I do drugs. And I'm like, you really shouldn't do drugs. They're like, whatever, it's my body, I do what I want. And that was exactly what they would be like. Good kids, kids with developmental disabilities, kids of all kinds. So when it comes down to like my teacher mentality, which is how I produce people, which is how I sort of am, it's from that first job that I had of being Jewish. So at one point in time, I was running the bar mitzvah school. Literally, I had setting up the classes and doing individual and working with the rabbi and everything. Running the bar mitzvah school, my mom was the main photographer for the synagogue, and my dad was actually the president of the synagogue.
Wow.
That's just because he was sort of bored at his job.
I feel like I can't compete with that. I mean, I can sit here and say my dad has a Christian album.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's called Hear My Prayer. But he has a Christian, and I'm singing on it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm. There's actually a song called I Got Jesus. And I'm in the background going, I got Jesus.
That's so cute.
He's got me. No, it's really bad.
We should definitely have that at the wedding.
Oh. Okay. I can perform it.
Yeah.
People will be like, what is going on? No, but okay. I think people are getting a picture painted right now.
Sorry. Yeah, I ranted. And then just one other thing I want to say is every summer I went to Jewish summer camp where it was also a peak on that graph of spin the bottle, but just every year.
I think that's the most action you're ever going to get in your life.
Yeah, God. That was amazing.
Gross.
Okay.
You guys told me some of the stories. Your sisters have told me some of their stories that involve pooping in things.
Oh yeah, I mean there's stories
anyway,
of all kinds of.
Your Jewish summer camp sounds a lot more fun than my Christian summer camp that I would go to.
Well, you guys have to save space for the Holy Spirit in between your slow dances.
Mm-hmm. No, I did. I went to Christian summer camp. We had church every day. Every day.
Well, we would wake up and say prayers. Masturbate.
Yeah. Oh God, gross, David.
Sorry. We were kids without our parents at camp. It was freedom. Just imagine me.
No, I don't. I want you to imagine. I don't want to imagine.
I want you to imagine 14-year-old me.
My love.
It's
please,
lights out.
Can we please stop? This conversation is going to end. And guys, I think we need to take.
No. One more story. Just it's lights out. I have black face paint on. The boys are asleep on their side. The girls are asleep on their side. The counselors are watching over the camp to make sure. And me and 6 boys are army crawling across the front of the lake with full camo gear on and black face paint just so that we can get to the girls' side. Yeah, that's right.
Did you paint stripes under your eyes?
Yeah, it was full.
No, you did blackface?
No.
Oh my God.
Well, the Jews and never mind. We have.
Let's not continue down this path.
Anyway,
they were kids. They didn't know what they were doing.
So let's dive into the question now. You understand a little bit of my Jewish backstory.
I was going to say, I think people have gotten. You look so embarrassed.
I am a little bit embarrassed.
They have the full picture right now of my upbringing versus your upbringing, and I will say there's a big difference that I'm noticing right away. You had fun.
Oh.
Yeah,
mine was awesome.
Was terrified the entire time. They would constantly, and by they I mean priests, teachers, kids, parents, just people in general would constantly fill you with this fear of going to hell forever if you don't listen to them or if you don't do what they say or if you don't think the same way that they do.
And that's the whole thing, right? Is you have to do this or you don't go to hell? Is that sorry.
Yeah, well, some people are of the mindset that all you have to do is believe in Jesus and accept him as your Lord and Savior, and that just you get a free pass into heaven at that point, regardless of how crappy of a human being you are. Some people believe differently. And that's a thing. Even within Christianity, there's like 100 million different ideas of what that even means and interpretations and denominations, and it's confusing. And there were like rival denominations. I went to a Catholic church, and there was a Baptist church across the street, and we didn't like them.
You TP the other
so
church.
So stupid. But yeah, some people believe that, you have to believe in Jesus and then also be a good person, which makes more sense to me. But a lot of people that I hear even now, they're like, all you have to do is accept Jesus. But then there's that like eternal hellfire thing that is a pretty huge red flag, in my opinion.
But they're doing it to save the other people.
Yeah, but growing up, like, I was harassed about it. I was told, like, hey, your parents were married in the Catholic Church and they got a divorce legally, but it wasn't annulled. So it's therefore a huge sin in God's eyes. Your parents are going to hell. And like, they would make me feel bad if my mom took communion, like the little cracker that you get every Sunday at church. They'd make me feel bad because she's not supposed to do that because she's impure because she hasn't gotten an annulment. And they would tell me that as like a 5 or 6 year old kid. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, the difference between your upbringing, which sounds like a party, and mine, which sounds like, God, I don't know. Like, I did enjoy like Easter eggs, which I will continue.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah,
we did our first. That was my first Easter egg this year.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Easter eggs. I enjoyed Christmas. I mean, I still will do Christmas, and people have something to say about that. But I like hanging out with family.
We had some really cute pictures this year, except for like we just kept dressing up. Actually, wait. Was that even Christmas or was that Halloween?
It was both.
It was both.
We decided to be Santa and Santa's helper for Halloween. And then we posted those photos like on Christmas, which really confused people.
So, there's just all these photos of us just really drunk, like making out in Santa outfits.
Making out in Santa outfits on Halloween. It's adorable. But yeah, there's a lot of things I did like. But for the most part, it was mostly kind of negative and scary. But there are things and traditions that even though I'm not religious, I would like to continue to have. Like, I would like to continue with Christmas. I like probably getting a fake tree because the real ones are expensive and they make a mess. And also I feel kind of bad for chopping down a tree.
Have you ever chopped a tree down?
I have not.
I mean, I've never done that either, but that would be sweet. I mean, you don't think I could do it?
No, I totally think you could.
Uh-oh.
I just don't know whether or not that'd be like a good idea, as opposed to just a fake one that you can keep in the attic and bring down. And, and if you buy them after Christmas, they're very cheap. My mom got like a really nice big fake tree for $20. Anyway, I would like to continue doing that. And I would like to do, Christmas morning and things from Santa Claus. And, Easter eggs are fun. I would like to continue hiding Easter eggs from the bunny because somehow that is related to Jesus. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the traditions.
Yeah, the traditions.
I love the traditions. And that was one thing that I was kind of sad to think that I would have to give up whenever I wasn't religious anymore. But I don't think that I should or have any reason to need to do that. I love tradition.
That's cool. Yeah. And, we've already talked about some of this stuff. So, like, that's that. But there's so much. Honestly, we could do this episode for hours.
We could. And actually, I think we should probably take a quick break before we keep going.
Let's take a quick break and we will be right back. Jaclyn.
Yes, David. Why are you crying?
It's just that our podcast.
No, not the podcast.
You see, I didn't want to believe it at first, but I don't think we're getting enough ratings and reviews to go on.
No, but they're streaming on Tuesdays and watching on Thursdays, but not reviewing.
Yes, my love. I'm so scared right now.
Oh my God, it's getting worse. If only more people would go to Spotify and the podcast app and leave a review. Maybe they could save us all.
Before it's too late.
Subscribe and review.
And we are back. Hope you guys enjoyed that commercial break.
All right.
We never know what happens in the commercial break.
No, I'm so curious. It's like a big mystery.
Yeah,
the mystery of our commercial breaks.
All right. So shall we talk about traditions that we want to keep? I mean, you talked about some of yours.
So those are my, Christian traditions that I would like to carry on, minus the religious aspect. But I like the family coming together, and I like, having something to look forward to. And I think it's a really cool bonding thing. So I'm sure you have some of those.
Have you ever seen me wearing a yarmulke? You have, because I took you to a Passover Seder this year.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Yeah. So I, if you were to ask me, and even me much younger, if I believed in God, the answer is no, clearly. But actually, I even asked that to the cantor at my synagogue, which is basically like the singing rabbi. And even when I worked for him, he made it very clear to me that Judaism, in his eyes, accepts the questioning and encourages the questioning. So for them, and even the singing rabbi who professionally does this, he told me he didn't believe in God. And I found that sort of inspiring and welcoming. And he's a gay man. He actually has adopted children, and they actually were and he was the head of the synagogue, and they were the first people to sort of push that gay marriage in Washington, and then the adoption element of it, and they sort of broke the grounds on that. This was all really cool as a part of what I was seeing, was the acceptance.
That blows my mind thinking about that.
Yeah,
like
it's
so many
cool.
things that you just said. I can't imagine a priest. Like priests aren't even allowed to marry like a woman. I mean, you can have deacons that do that, but priests are not allowed to be like that with anyone. So you saying that not only was this guy an atheist, but he also was gay and, lived his life openly and no one judged him, like that is not something that I think you would ever find in Christianity, which is sad.
Yeah, and now don't get me wrong. I mean, this was just how I grew up Jewish. It was, but there are clearly Orthodox and other judgmental areas of it. But I'm just speaking from sort of my background. Mm-hmm. So traditions that I would like to keep are sort of a lot of the ones that really were awesome and a big part of me. I mean, there's countless songs that I have sort of in my heart that I know the harmony to and know all the words and know that I think are really beautiful, that I hope someday my kids know. Hanukkah as a kid was awesome. 8 days, ridiculous. Like the story's bull crap. Like the candles lasted for 8 days, but honestly, the Jews are the first people to say, "Hey, look, it's a story. Enjoy it." Mm-hmm. And so, fine, the story's bullshit, but being able to do the presents, I'm still a little traumatized because I specifically remember one year when my mom had all of my presents out there, and then I got in trouble and she took them all away from me, and then I never got a present, and then
the last day.
The guitar's not. It's over there. But there was one year. It was the year that my parents took away all my presents. My sisters kept getting presents every single day, and I let it sort of go for the first 7 days. All right, maybe there's something coming. I wasn't getting any presents because I got in trouble for something, and then on the last night, my sisters got presents, and I didn't get presents, and I cried. And then my parents were like, "Go open the closet in Grandma's room," and I did. I was crying, and there was a guitar in there. And that was very special, and screw you guys for messing with me, Mom and Dad. But it was really a special thing. So there's a lot of traditions there.
Well, I got to have my first Hanukkah this year. We had a Hanukkah party that I helped co-host with you.
Oh my God.
That was so much fun.
So yeah, the party was amazing. We made latkes. We bought 10 pounds of potatoes and onions, and we brought a bunch of people over, which it was all just non-Jewish people and the occasional Jew, but really not really. Mm-hmm. And I pulled the microphone and the PA out, and I gave a speech about what Hanukkah is and the backstory with just the Maccabee tribe and how they were trapped in this synagogue.
Somehow you made a lot of penis jokes.
I
in
did
this
make
speech.
Penis jokes, yes. Yeah. I mean, how do you not?
The full thing is on the vlog channel, isn't it?
Really? Yeah, it might be.
There's the speech is near the end of that Hanukkah vlog. But if you look on our vlog channel, that will definitely be there if you're curious to see this speech. But that
was fun. That was fun hosting that. So anyways, Hanukkah was awesome. So the holidays, I really am not choosing all the holidays. We're not going to do Sukkot. You don't even know what that is, but that's okay. Idea. Purim maybe because you dress up as a thing. But honestly, it's really just going to be your Hanukkah, your Rosh Hashanah, your Yom Kippur, Passover.
Well, we did that recently.
We did do Passover.
That was interesting. Oh, and the funniest thing. So we did this at a friend of his, I guess, her family's place. Mm-hmm. And her dad the entire time. So they were doing readings and, telling these stories, and he was getting frustrated because it was taking so long and he wanted to eat. And he kept rolling his eyes. And not only was he rolling his eyes because he was hungry and impatient, but he was going, "It's all bullshit. Everything bullshit. It's all bullshit." And he's like, the whole time, And kind of loud. Like, people were turning and being like, shh.
Yeah, well, they did have some more religious people in the family that were like sticking to it.
And he was getting real annoyed. But it was funny, and it was something that I, again, remembered from our conversations, that a lot of these things are traditional, and many people who participate in them don't have to be religious to enjoy the experience of having family together and like traditions.
Totally.
And I am down for traditions.
Perfect. And then I don't know if we'll ever, but like just a little bit of sort of like why us Jews sort of stick together. We've been sort of persecuted forever. So like, I mean, it sounds a little sad, but like if we're ever in Europe, we'll probably be able to like go see some sites where like, Holocaust stuff is like very real. And I have Holocaust survivors in my family. And so you get to sort of like, if we were to see that kind of thing, it's like, these are like my people. And so the tradition thing almost holds another weight with the Judaism element of it, of like, all right, like a few million of us died really quick, like I'm downplaying it clearly. And this has been going on forever. And that sort of unites all of us to sort of hold on to some of these things that aren't necessarily God celebrations, but are just community. Even when I went to college, like I was somehow on some stupid Jew list. There's like must be a Jew mailing list, and like I got to college, and the Jew frat somehow knew I had showed up, and they tried to rush me, and I was not trying to join a fraternity because that seems too bro-tastic for me. So they rushed my Christian roommate, got him, and then because they got him, they got me. And it was really just a club of like 13 Jews that smoked weed and like played video games. So like I was down. And anyways, that's where I'm going with that. So as far as the traditions I'm into, the holidays, however, I would get married under a chuppah. That's like the thing.
The thing. I don't
it's
know.
like the altar kind of, but I don't know the correct word. Maybe it's supposed to be branches or something. I would get married under a chuppah with a talit over us. I do believe that's a part of the tradition. Talit is like the prayer shawl.
Okay. And then I get to step on a glass,
and we would stomp on a glass.
That's
I don't exactly completely understand what I think it's something about starting new or your old life and tossing in the trash. I honestly don't know.
Isn't there some kind of like chair?
Oh, you're gonna get your butt up on a chair.
Oh.
And I could be wrong, but I think your mom's gonna be on that chair, and I think your dad will be on a chair.
Oh my gosh!
And I think
gets a chair.
Everyone's gonna be on a chair. I think.
And then they lift the chair and
they lift the chair underneath you.
Oh my goodness!
It's really awesome.
See, that's the kind of thing, like, I think that sounds exciting. That sounds fun.
Well, yeah, you're going to be scared shitless. I know you. You're very, like, you're not, what's the word? Danger prone. You're not, like, you're going to be screaming on the chair.
You mean I have the will to live?
Yeah, sure.
Something that I have many times questioned whether or not you possess because you do crazy things that...
You're not going to fall. I mean, if you fall from 8-10 feet, you'll be fine.
David,
you'll be fine. Just hold on to the chair. They'll hold you up. Just
I have a feeling I'd be wearing a dress of some kind.
You will be.
So then that would be difficult to do like some kind of chair gymnastics. I don't.
And
really
also
fall
wave and hold the vlog camera at the same time.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
you can hold that. But no. So all of these things sound cool, and I think when you're in a relationship with somebody and you love them, you want to embrace the things about them that make them who they are. And I think this is a big part of who you are. And I don't have to compromise my morals or values because you're not religious. You just have like cultural things that are interesting and different.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get really nasty with me. I've been pretty openly not religious on the internet, to say the least. And so they see me as someone who is Jewish.
You can say a Jew. It's fine.
You totally interrupted my train of thought.
Sorry. A Jew. My bad. Sorry. Mom.
And they get really, really nasty with me in the comments because they think that I'm like now converting or something ridiculous. And they say horrible things. They're really anti-Semitic things. And it's just confusing to me.
You see anti-Semitic things?
Yeah.
Wow.
You've pointed them out in the vlogs.
Yeah, I mean, I had like a little bit here and there.
I delete them. I delete those ones because some people are really nasty.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of censoring, but if it's something really nasty and, they're slightly threatening, I will remove those.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And
you'll see as we go on, you'll probably encounter more anti-Semitism.
Yeah, that's not something I've ever experienced before, or even like thought. Like people, in my head, I'm like, no one would do that, right? No one would. But
I remember asking you recently. There was a shooting in a synagogue, and I remember saying, "How does that make you feel?" And you're like, "Honestly, like it's a little different now."
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I mean, obviously, I'm not Jewish, and I have like a Christian upbringing, and I'm not even Christian. So people kind of question whether or not I would be interested in something like that, because I'm not even a part of what I was raised to be. But I do think it's interesting because you can have all those things and they're all positive. And like I said, I love traditions, and you can have all of that without God.
Yep.
And people wonder how I could date someone who they think you believe in God. They don't understand that it is possible to have a cultural side of things without the religious.
Yeah.
And that's why people get nasty with me. So it's definitely interesting.
I'm sort of excited to have some new holidays.
Yeah, we can do like a Christmas,
Kwanzaa?
Sure, all of them.
Kwanzaa?
All of the things. But to be honest, if like, let's say you were Christian and you were super Christian and you wanted to go to church every Sunday and you were in any way trying to like save me or were pushing religious beliefs on me or wanted to raise kids religious, like I think that might be a no-go for me.
So that takes us right back to the first question that was in Liz's question, which Liz's question out of all of them was, the first one was, how do you feel about dating / marrying someone of a different religion? So,
I mean,
could you? Let's say you loved me. I'm awesome, but I'm very...
Let's say...
Fine, but I'm religious.
But you're not.
I know. I'm just trying to...
If you were, I get what you're trying to say. At this point, we're already in it, But
Sure.
I do wonder if, like, upon meeting someone who was very religious, if that would be a deterrent. And I think, honestly, the biggest problem for me in that would be their opinion of me and not the other way around. I think I would be more open to it than someone who was religious because they have this, like, nagging fear of hell and this... you're taught to evangelize, you're taught to preach and save people, and you really think that if you don't, they're going to go to hell. So if you love someone, that's what you do. And I don't think that someone like that could put up with someone who refuses, Yeah. I think that would be a big problem, and it has been for me before.
Mm-hmm.
I've dated people who, like, were brought up Christian. They're like, oh, but I'm not really that religious. It's fine. And I'm like, that's cool. I don't mind as long as you don't care how I go about my life. And they said they were fine, and they weren't. And then fights happened because they were judgmental towards me for not being religious. Like, how could you? Like, how do you get morals? Like, clearly I have no morals now because I don't believe in Jesus. And there was a lot of judgment that I would have to deal with. And that is something that I could not put up with. However, if people could manage to keep it respectful, then that's great. But I do think that that's a struggle for most people. And you have to have both people doing that, which is hard to find.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really relate to her question because... she's Jewish, and we're sort of a dwindling population. I know that there's like a birthright trip that encourages, it's a free trip for Jews to go to Israel, for example, and they're encouraging you to marry Jewish because the population is, dwindling, whatever you want to say. So where I get that is like, do you force yourself to only date Jewish? Or do you force yourself to only date atheist?
Well, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't limit myself. But that's because I know where my boundaries would be, and it's not black and white. There's certain things that I would be willing to compromise for. Like if they weren't pushing their stuff on me, like that'd be fine. But I have found that when I've attempted that before, thinking that could be accomplished, I was very wrong. And then I ended up getting insulted and put down.
Yep.
So I don't know that I would want to do that again because I've had so many really nasty experiences with it.
Yeah. I have one, I didn't date this girl. I was interested in her in college. I was into her. It was like this one of these small moments I had of single. And I turned it on. I was like, all right, this girl, I got it. And we were bonding and we got alone, and I asked her would you go on a date with me or whatever, something like that. And She told me she couldn't because I was going to hell.
Oh.
And I was so confused.
That's
I
my
was
favorite part about you.
I was like, I'm like a bar mitzvah teacher on the weekends. I'm a good guy. I've like donated money. I'm a good person. Like, but no. And so like that was like one that clearly, well,
if you don't accept Jesus, how could you have morals? I'm sorry. If not the Bible, then where?
exactly. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, total sense.
Total sense.
Total sense.
So anyways, that was just one surprising thing I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
So you, in your question earlier that you were forming to me, you asked me, like, do I limit myself to only dating atheists? But the one before that was aimed at you. That do you, because of dwindling populations that you just explained, do you, as a Jewish person, only find women that are the same?
I have only dated non-Jews.
Mm.
So with that in mind, like how every single time it's always been like, do they respect the traditions in which that I come from? I've had situations where discussing like the idea of a future, where I had a partner that she wanted to baptize children, and I was okay with that. As long as they could still like have their bar mitzvah or like still be sort of like in the Jewish community or whatever. And she told me that no, you can't be baptized and be Jewish or whatever. So like it wasn't mutual, or wasn't a mutually exclusive, mutually inclusive, whatever. I don't know the proper terminology here, but it didn't work.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, why, if you were in a partnership with someone, would you not be more willing to compromise, like, and do both?
Yeah.
So for this situation, she was saying, I want to baptize kids, raise them Christian, and you can't have any of your culture brought into this.
And she was saying that based on the fact that that's not 100% true, but she was saying that based on the fact that
but she was saying you couldn't do like a bar mitzvah.
You couldn't do both. You can't, like, within her religious background, like and I don't know if this is true for every church or every whatever sect of Christianity, Catholicism, whatever, if whether or not you can do both, but that was sort of how she set it up for me. And so that was like, okay, we can, whatever you want to do. We never really hit our middle ground on that one.
Were there any like things that compromise could be reached on? Like, what about Hanukkah?
Hanukkah, totally. Hanukkah's fine.
Okay.
Hanukkah's cool. But even like, things like bar mitzvah, summer camp, stupid shit like that. Like that was
summer camp.
Summer camp, I know, right? They're never going to summer camp. Like, no, they have to. I wrote my name all over the camp. They have to go there and see their dad's name. Yeah, so that didn't work. So anyways, back to the question, I absolutely clearly have dated non-Jewish, and I am not closing myself off. But I have some things that I would like to celebrate in the way in which I was raised that I would love for my kid to do.
I want to baptize our kids.
Yeah, well, I'm down.
Kidding.
We're gonna get a doggy pool for the backyard this summer.
We can like do our own little baptism.
Well, I guess this summer. I mean, but we'll use the pool for multiple summers, and then it's relevant.
I see. Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why I got into that.
For anybody wondering, we don't really clash on religion at all.
We don't.
I mean, you don't believe in God, so what is there to clash on? I mean, there's just different traditions and different cultural things brought in, which are interesting to me. I like any excuse to get family together, any excuse to celebrate, I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, and I love that about you. That's the coolest. Even sort of when my parents sort of like looked you up originally, it was like,
oh my God, that is so terrifying to think of your parents.
And my grandma's.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, but the
things they must have seen.
But you've got years of your YouTube videos that are honestly your transformation captured in video form from a religious person to a non-religious person. There's probably all stages of emotion. Some may be angry, some may be whatever. Like
all of those.
All of the stages, so those are accessible to my grandma.
Oh my God.
And that's okay.
Both of his grandmas have added me on Facebook.
Oh, and they follow you on Instagram, and
they like waved at
wave
me.
to you? Yeah, that's
and both
weird.
of them within like a few days of each other.
Yeah, I don't know if they're coordinating that. They're most likely not. My grandmas are pretty technologically savvy. Like my 96-year-old grandma recently complained that her Wi-Fi speed wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. She's got like an Apple Watch. Like she
has
walks around with an
watch and
iPad.
Yeah, it's like pretty intense. Cool. So yeah, we do see eye to eye on that, and I think that's great. And I think in advice to Liz and her question, I think that's the key, is to finding a partner that sees eye to eye, and you can't. Look, Liz, we're already only 1% of the population. You really just open it up. That's my advice to you. Is we're all just people, and we all have different backstories, and it's cool to celebrate in other people's backstories. I'm excited to fuck some kids up with some Santa and cookies.
Oh, this can go for full circle from before too, because didn't we mention that we had Halloween costumes?
We do, yeah.
You have a full Santa suit.
And I will
already.
Honestly, if you're cool with it, what I would like to do is 1 year, we'll pick a year, and on December 26th, I begin method acting. I will start.
David.
Have you ever seen method actors? They get into a role, they lose their mind for that role, and that is everything. So December 26th,
do that for a year?
I will start gaining weight, and I will eat, and I will not shave. And I might even have to dye my hair gray because I have incredibly luscious locks. So I will dye my hair gray and maybe even curl it. I don't know. I'm going to do this 1 year.
No, you're not.
Yes, I will. And I will, by December 24th, transform into Santa. The best, jolliest, happy Santa
Somewhere
ever.
halfway through that year, you're going to just like...
Die.
Yeah. Heart attack.
I am down to
Mommy,
take
why did Daddy die? Well, he just really wanted to be Santa Claus in real life. But why? I don't know. That will to live that I was talking about earlier just isn't there.
But it would be so
there.
worth it.
No.
Yeah.
I know you're joking, but you
I'm not
make this
joking.
joke so many times that it's just
We're gonna
a
do
little
it.
scary.
We're going to do this. We're going to also mess them up with the tooth fairy. I'm really excited.
That actually, I do like that idea.
Yeah. You talking about my idea with the crane?
Yeah. I'll operate the crane. You be the tooth fairy with little wings on, and I will slowly have you descend into the child's
bedroom. Well,
bedroom
you'll put
window.
me through the window.
And they'll be like, Dad!
And I'll wear a tutu, and it'll be great.
And they will be scarred for life.
Yeah. I'm really excited to continue our vlog channel. Really, really excited.
Well, I hope we answered the question adequately.
Yeah, I'm checking it out.
I feel like
Her sister sort of goes back to what we were talking on the last episode about comparing yourself. Her sister's husband converted to Judaism.
I see.
And I know that they're twins even. So there's sort of an element of competition there. And
I hope that there isn't.
No, but I just know twins in general. Who knows? But I can just imagine you're always trying to compare to a sibling.
You gotta let that go.
You have to let it
You
go.
have
But
to
like,
let that go.
even if you find a nice non-Jewish guy, he doesn't even have to convert. Like, just be respectful of each other's backgrounds and celebrate it. And I think you'll find your happiness in that. You don't have to do exactly what your parents did before you or whatever it is.
Just look at us.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I'm definitely not, and I'm not converting, but I do think that carrying on a lot of those traditions is going to be a great thing and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So find somebody who's chill for that. Like, there's got to be people out there that are more than willing to accept cultural traditions. It's not really a lot to ask, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Do you want me to teach you how to read Hebrew?
I've been just waiting for you to ask.
I can. The funny thing is, I can read it, can't understand a single word.
Okay, well, that's kind of pointless.
Well, no, seriously, you put Hebrew in front of me, I can sound it out and read it. And I even knew the tropes, which is the sounds of how to read the songs. Mm-hmm. And so I can sight read it, but I don't know what it says. I know a few words.
Yahweh?
Zonah is bitch.
Wow.
Oh, here's something cool. Did you know that dog in Hebrew translates to fish?
Now the world makes sense. I really want to get your opinion on Yahweh, though. It's so funny when you go on this. You don't have to.
No, it's fine.
It was so funny. We were together, and he overheard some Christian people say Yahweh, and he like went on this rant, and you would not stop, and it was the funniest thing to me.
Yeah, there's a Bible study that's held in my house on Thursdays.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
It's true, but that's all good. It's a communal, it's a good house for, we got a nice yard, it's a good place for it. I got a fire pit.
Oh God.
But anyways,
Okay.
yeah, when they refer to my people, that's when I get a little bit more like, hey, you guys don't know it's okay.
You people.
You people. Anyways, yeah, it's nice that they talk so nicely about the Jewish people, but
Still think you're going to hell.
Yeah, well, they were talking about our God, and they were referring to him as Yahweh, and that's just not. The backstory on that is that supposedly I can't believe we're testing my Hebrew knowledge right now. Supposedly the Torah, which was like handed down as writing, right, was written without vowels, and so the word for God has 4 letters. I'm going to translate this into English.
YHWH.
Yeah, there you go. It's like a YH and a V and an H.
VH.
Yeah.
YHVH.
Yud chet, Yud hey, Yud chet, Vav chet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't know how to pronounce it because the vowels were missing, right?
So they just add some A's in there?
You could be a Yiwa, it could be Yehovah, it could be, that's where you get Jehovah.
Yeah.
Anyways, they call him Yahweh, and it just always sort of bugged me. In actual Hebrew, when you get to the word, when you're reading along, you get to that word that they don't know how to pronounce, they swap it for another word, which is Adonai.
Yeah,
Did you know that? Baruch
yeah.
atah Adonai.
Yeah, you told me.
And Adonai, I believe, translates to the name.
Ah.
I believe. And so it's sort of vague.
He who has no name.
Exactly. Voldemort.
I am who am.
Exactly. So
All right.
that's why I get a little bit annoyed about Yahweh. But that's just my
I thought that was
rant.
really funny because this Bible study was happening in your living room and we're in your bedroom and you're just pissed
That they're
going
talking about
off. And
Yahweh.
I was laughing so hard. I was like having tears and my sides hurt. And it's just a fond memory. Because I've never I never imagined like being in a situation with you and you're like, oh my God, it's religious people. And I thought it was pretty attractive.
Oh, glad you liked that.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
it's good.
But yeah, see, we have no conflict and things are good. And I do think that people should be opening to dating people that, even if they are religious, think differently as long as they're accepting.
That's the key.
I don't think you should limit yourself.
No, not at all. People are awesome. You're awesome. And you're not Jewish, and that's great. And
You can say it. I'm not a Jew.
you're not a Jew.
You can say it, David.
You're not a Jew. But you're sort of an honorary Jew.
Thank you.
Do you have a little Jew in you?
Sometimes I do.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, you set me up for that.
I did.
Yeah, the first time I made that joke to you, you about shit your pants.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, you were surprised that I was that raunchy. It's not even that raunchy. You're worse than I am, honestly.
As far as raunchiness goes?
Oh yeah.
You not on the podcast.
You opened this by telling people I'm circumcised,
Oh, the
and now all the girls who are wondering about your penis can know.
Well, yeah, clearly I'm circumcised.
Clearly.
Well, I mean, can't you? Maybe you can't just tell. Can't you?
We should end this podcast.
No, it's good. It's good. Do I have any good circumcision stories?
No, let's list. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to rate and review this podcast.
You're cutting off the tip of the podcast right now. Is that what you're doing? No. Okay.
I appreciate the attempt.
Yeah. Sorry. we can.
I do think we should wrap it up, but this has been fun. I think
this has been really fun.
Hopefully we gave a good answer to Liz, and hopefully everyone who was wondering about us and how I possibly managed to make it work are satisfied.
I honestly think we might still have more religion questions. There's so much that can be talked about this.
Well,
so
that's the beauty of having a podcast that's going to go on for 52 episodes. We can definitely expand upon this topic at some point in the future. For sure.
So hopefully we responded well to Liz's question. And
if anybody else has questions, make sure to submit them at patreon.com/Jaclyn and David.
And David.
Yeah. So is there anything in the world of Jaclyn and David that we'd like to promote before ending this podcast?
Oh my gosh. Well, we are going to go on tour this summer.
Woo!
I know. We still have so much work to do to get that figured out.
We have a lot of work to do, but we are doing a U.S.-Canada tour in August.
So there is a form in the description of the YouTube video, but it's also, is it still pinned to the top of your Twitter?
It is.
Wow, there's a form on Jaclyn's Twitter at Jaclyn Glenn, and you can go and you can fill out either of our forms. And basically what we're going to be doing in the next few days here is putting our data together, and we are going to pick the top 20 or so cities in the United States of America, and we are going to set a plan for this August, and we are going to travel around and play some shows, meet some people, take some pictures.
I'm so excited. I'm
Me
so
too.
excited. So I really, really hope that everybody who wants to hang out with us, everybody who wants to meet us, fills out that form, because it would break my little black atheist heart if I did not get to meet you guys if we were in or near your city.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. We're still figuring out our travel plans, whether or not we're going to take up my 97 red van or we're going to find an RV.
RV, please.
No,
your van's going to break down and we won't be out of luck.
It's fine. It's only got 150,000 miles. We're good.
Only. It's fine.
It's good. It's good. It'll run forever.
All right.
So
Cool.
With that, I think we're going to end the podcast.
All right.
This was a fun one.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.